Dear religious viewer of Khabar Tatak, the dueling of story under the religion section of Khabar Tatak that I have brought before you today is the story of the great archer Eklavya and his teacher, the great scholar Dronacharya. There is a rumor prevailing regarding the relations of Dronacharya and Eklavya, telling Dronacharya as a great discriminator to the lower caste born Bhil son Eklavya. It is told in the rumor that Dronacharya not only rejected the request of Bhil son Eklavya to appoint him as his disciple, but also he got his thumb amputated so that he could not go ahead in life. On the basis of this rumor, many of the people reproaches Dronacharya for being a discriminator against the lower caste born Eklavya, and many times he abuses Dronacharya too. But the fact, as it is described in the Mahabharata written by Vyasdev, it is described that the rumor that tells Eklavya to be a Bhil's son was not really actually an ordinary Bhil's son. In fact, he was a prince of his father was the king of Nisada. He himself had revealed this before Dronacharya when he had come to his ashram introducing himself. However, it was his Pitama who had got the great scholar Dronacharya appointed as the teacher of Kauravas, Pandavas to impart them the lessons of scriptures and weapons telling to Dhritarashtra. Yet it was not only Kauravas and Pandavas studying in the cottage of the great scholar Dronacharya. Thousands of kings and princes were imparting lessons on scriptures and weapons in the cottage of the great scholar Dronacharya. Not only the people from the noble families, people like Karna, who was the son of a charioteer, also received lesson from the great scholar Dronacharya at his house. The great scholar Dronacharya did not discriminate among his disciples on the basis of caste, creed, or status. Had he practiced this, how he would have taught lessons to Karna, the charioteer's son, and made him a great warrior. So, the rumor you so far would have understood is based on the prejudice of these particular minded men who are ill minded in fact, and on the basis of this they reproaches great scholar Dronacharya. Once upon a time, while Dronacharya was teaching Kauravas and Pandavas, hearing the fame of Dronacharya and his teaching skills, the son of Nisad king Hiranyadhanu, Eklavya arrived at the cottage of Dronacharya, bowed down his head at the feet of the great scholar Dronacharya and requested him to accept him as his disciple. Just then, great sage Dronacharya glanced at the Kauravas and noticed something, rejected the proposal of the king of Nisada, Hiranyadhanu's son Eklavya. However, hearing of rejection, Eklavya was not nervous or anything else. Rather, he again bowed his head at the feet of Dronacharya. Dronacharya blessed him and he returned back to his homeland. However, coming to his homeland, he did not reside at his father's royal palace but came to a dense forest, made a mud statue of the great scholar Dronacharya and treating him as his teacher. He started practicing archery. He was so much intended to practice the archery that within a few time he got mastery over aiming, shooting, and even returning and changing the direction of the arrows in the midways. Thereafter, sometimes once Kauravas and Pandavas, with the permission of the great scholar and teacher Dronacharya, came to a dense forest for hunting on a chariot. One man was volunteering Pandavas during his this process. He had a dog with him. Arriving at the dense forest, Dronacharya settles at a place and ordered Kauravas and Pandavas to go for hunting at his wishes. Kauravas and Pandavas went to the different direction in order to have hunting of their own choices. Meanwhile, the dog who had been there along with the volunteer also started wandering hither and thither and saw Eklavya this way, who was of dark complexion, had a patches of dust throughout his body due to continuous archery practices before the statue of the great scholar Dronacharya, wearing deer skin and matted hair. Having seen this, the dog started barking and approaching to Eklavya. Having seen this, Eklavya, showing his archery austerity, shooted 7 arrows at the same time in such a way that it just opened the mouth of the barking dog without any other harms. The dog then, with open mouth filled with 7 arrows, returned to the Pandavas. Having seen the dog in this situation, the Pandavas and Kauravas were taken aback at the great skill of the warrior who had done this. Then Pandavas went in the forest in order to search for the great warrior to congratulate. Then he saw a man who was actually Eklavya, the son of Nisad king Hiranyadhanu, practicing archery. Pandavas asked Eklavya of his introduction along with his father's name. Thereupon Eklavya told them that consider him to be son of the king of Nisadaj Hiranyadhanu and also disciple of the great scholar Dronacharya. Having heard, Pandavas congratulated Eklavya and returned to Dronacharya, told everything what had happened. Dronacharya became very happy hearing this. Instantly, Arjun took Dronacharya aside and told him that once upon a time he had, while embracing him, told that none of his disciples would be superior warrior to him. Then how this son of the king of Nisadas, Eklavya, are progressing to be superior to him in archery? The great sage and teacher Dronacharya pondered for a while and started coming to Eklavya. While Eklavya saw his priest, his teacher Dronacharya coming along with Arjun there, he proceeded and welcomed his teacher, the great scholar Dronacharya, bowing his head at the feet of the great scholar Dronacharya. Then he requested the great scholar Dronacharya, telling nothing is unattainable for him to give as disciple gift to his teacher, just demand for it. Dronacharya pondered for a while, took a glance at Arjun's face and ordered Eklavya, the son of the Nisad king Hiranyadhanu, to give teacher gift in the form of his right hand's thumb. However, hearing this harsh word from the great scholar Dronacharya, who was his teacher, as he had personified the mud statue of Dronacharya as actual Dronacharya and his teacher, he did not hesitated, remains as calm as he were remaining all the time, amputed his right hand's thumb and gives it the disciple gift to his teacher, the great scholar Dronacharya. Many of the people believes that this way Dronacharya had destroyed the entire knowledge and potential of Eklavya, thereby as discriminating him to be the fields son born in the lower caste family, and the great scholar Dronacharya himself was of upper caste Brahman family. But when you know that what Dronacharya had did for the Eklavya thereafter. It was Dronacharya himself who made Eklavya the great archer, giving him a sign knowledge, telling that how he could use archery using its middle and four finger, and this way if he practice he will be even superior to the archer using thumb and forefinger. Eklavya accepted the knowledge imparted by the Dronacharya, his teacher, by sign method, and become the great archer, as you all are aware of this fact.